Welcome to Kitchen Chromatography. In this presentation, we're going to show you how to perform some chromatography experiments at home, and we're also going to show you some of the experiments we did in order to prepare for this. The overview of this experiment is we'll apply some ink to a piece of paper. We're going to let the paper touch salt water, and this is going to allow us to separate the colors within the ink. What you're going to need for this experiment is some coffee filters that are cut into rectangles or strips. If you had some chromatography paper from a science supply, that would be great, but it's not normally something we have at home. You're also going to need some markers. To do the separation, you're going to need some water, some salt, a half teaspoon measure, and a half cup measure. You're also going to need a clear container that's wide enough for the paper that you cut and big enough to hold half a cup of water. Salt water can separate colors, and I did a quick experiment to figure out how much salt we needed. I made 5 different solutions, each one with a different amount of salt. So we went from a low concentration, number 1, to a high concentration, number 5. We used the 5 solutions to separate purple, green, and black marker ink, and you can see the results here. On the left-hand side, you can see the dots of marker ink that are not separated. So that's the true color of the marker you would see on the page. And as you move across to the right, from solution 1 to solution 5, you can see the results of increasing the concentration of salt. We thought number 5 gave us the best result. So for your experiment, we suggest using the conditions of number 5, which are half a cup of water with half a teaspoon of salt. To make the solution, you simply add your half teaspoon of salt to the half cup of water, and you can make this in your clear container that you already selected. In order to place the ink on the paper, the marker ink should be applied in one area of the paper near the bottom edge, but not touching the edge. And you can see 2 examples of it here. You can make the marker a line, or you can use the marker to create a dot. To do the experiment, we place the paper with the marker ink at the bottom so that it just touches the salt water. If the ink is a mixture, as the water moves up the paper, it will separate the ink into different colors very quickly. We can see in this example that our ink has separated, and as soon as it stops moving, we pull this out and let the paper dry. Here's an example of some of the chromatograms that we ran, and you can see the marker dots before and after separation all lined up. The red has a lot of pink, the brown has a lot of blue, and the green has a lot more yellow than blue. Our purple was made up mainly of pink and blue. Then we decided to compare markers of just one color, and here you can see the results of our green markers. One had a lot of blue, one had a lot of yellow, and our dark green marker even had some red, so there was great variation amongst the green markers. When we compared markers that were blue, we also found a great variation amongst the different brands that we had. We are particularly interested in 2 of them. The blue ink from our Sharpie did not separate into more than one color, but it did have some green in it. Our dark blue marker was a true mixture with several different shades of blue, as well as some black and some brown ink. Here you see the examples that we performed on our coffee filters that all worked very well. We found out that most of our markers had multiple dyes that separated. We only had one on the coffee filters that didn't separate it. Good luck with your experiment and let us know how you get on.